women don't really know what's best for them. Like, as a man, you have to present yourself in the best way to tap into that side of women to make them know and
Yeah.
understand that you're the best person for them. Because if you leave them to their own devices, they'll choose boy every single time. And another thing is a lot of women overvalue themselves, if that makes sense. A lot of women will say like, oh, I'm an 8, 9, or 10, when in reality they're probably just average, and they would get along very well with another man who is average. Because there's nothing wrong with being a construction worker,
Right.
right? There's nothing wrong with being a construction worker, but it's the appeal, and it's a visual appeal that him working for somebody else has, compared to him being an entrepreneur making the same amount of money. And it's like, oh well, I'm going to go with the entrepreneur because he works for himself, when the construction worker probably could have been a great choice too, and he was a blue collar working man.
Yeah, I'm in
a
agreement.
lot of average women do not want average men, and
Yeah.
that's just the hard reality of it. And that's
Yeah.
why it's so important for men to self-improve and just become the best version of yourself every day.
Every day.
You have to self-improve yourself, because if you don't, by default, you're regressing. If you're not progressing in life and continually self-improving as a man, then by default you're regressing. Something is going backwards and you're not improving on yourself.
I was doing that same show that I just told you about. We came back and did a part 2. I asked the owner of the spot, yo, who's your dream guy? She said, my dream guy is Moneybagg Yo, Lil Baby, Lil Durk, and Scarface. I said, okay, so you like street pharmaceutical reps who either legalize their business, or street pharmaceutical reps who still have it, but they're hands off with it to where they got foot soldiers for them. You like a mob boss, the nigga that wears a trench suit, kind of like a Victor Sweet on Four Brothers. You like dudes like that. You like people like Ghost. You like
Yeah,
dudes
exactly. Yeah, the hood genius, I like to call them. They want the hood genius.
yeah, and it was so many interesting intangibles about this because I watched her husband drop her off 30 minutes before that. And when I asked her who her dream guy was, not one time did she say her husband. So that lets me know where you feel that you are in the market, because your husband drops you off every single day to a place where you have the men that you actually want pictures on the wall. And he's the guy that was tangible enough for you to get, which lets me know that you don't even feel like that you're good enough for these people that you aspire to be with. So I don't give a damn about your imaginary checklist about what you want, because the life that you live is what shows me exactly where you feel that you are in the dating market.
The way a woman talks about her man and represents herself in public tells you a lot about the person she's with, or the man, or the type of man that she's with. And I think a woman that like will tell you something, maybe it wasn't publicly, but she'll tell you that privately, or something like that. You already know what type of man you already know what type of man she's dealing with. It's a man that's gonna tolerate disrespect and bullshit from her.
It was on camera when she said it. We were filming, we were taping the show, and she was
Even
on
worse.
live.
Even worse.
And on top of that, she talked about how she used to have casual sex back in the day on camera. And I told her that because you used to have casual sex, that you don't deserve to be traditionally courted, because you're not a traditional woman.
Exactly.
And she, for the life of her, she was just like, no, I get courted by the men I want to get courted by, and I have sex with the men I have. And I said, and this is the problem with women today, is that you want to be able to pick and choose when you want to be traditional and don't want, but you want a man to be able to take care of everything for you. And that's the reason right there why you don't deserve it. And if I court you, I'm being disrespectful. And she said, how? I said, because the woman who went to school, kept her legs crossed, did her homework, went home, preserved herself, obeyed her parents, went to college, had a nice credit score, probably purchased her own home, got her car, and said, I'm doing all of this so that when that man enters my life, I can be what I need to be for him, for us to be able to progress to the next level and live happily ever after. She needs my attention, not you.
Facts, man. A lot of these women want a traditionally masculine man while still being masculine and the option of being feminine,